Hey guys, it's Coeval here again. This time around I've got a best of 3 series for you between myself and Kalaise. I believe that's how you pronounce it, but let me know in the comments. I know Kalaise watches my videos like a religion, so let me know, Kalaise, if that's how you pronounce it or if I'm botching it. Anyway, these are 10 Grassy games. Again, best of 3. Here's game 1. Let's get it started. He's got an infection book. He comes down here and opens with a frost arrow. If you're not familiar with 10 Grassy or just 10 seconds in general, with the recent change to frost arrow being buffed to 100 damage max instead of 50, the opener is almost always frost arrow for like 90% of 10-second games. So I get hit with the frost arrow and then I move toward him in tower. In hindsight, I should have moved away from him in tower so that he can't jump up and pebble me and continue to apply the pressure. Keep in mind, as you're watching these, I mainly do 60 Grassy and not 10 Grassy. I consider myself a decent 10-second player, but that's about it. So nothing to write home about really. But yeah, I should run away from Kalaise because I don't want him to keep applying pressure, and if he can't get to me in 10 seconds, then maybe I have the opportunity to get out my own arrow and do some damage to him. So anyway, I move toward him in tower. It is what it is. He follows up with the aura, and I think this is already a little bit of a mistake, but I made a mistake on turn 2 as well, so we're all doing our best out here. But I think he should jump up and pebble me, or maybe if he could get all the way to the other side, which he might be able to. Run out here, jump up, maybe he's at 8 or 7 seconds, jump, do a couple long jumps, get over the tower, and then maybe mud or pebble me. I think he could do that in 10 seconds. I probably couldn't because I suck, but anyway, I think he probably should have detowered instead of done the aura. But he does the aura, and the game goes on. This gives me tempo because I'm able to get a frost arrow out, and that's huge. It does a lot of damage, and he just towers. I decide to throw out a water ball. I don't have aerials yet. And here he goes for the pebble, but there was a pixel right here-ish. It's gone now, but he had a pixel in the way, didn't notice. And if that wasn't in the way, I bet... Actually, I'm not sure if it reaches, but anyway, good try by him, but doesn't quite go his way. So unfortunately, I'm able to get this Mega Boulder off. Let me zoom out here. And because I had the water ball on the tower, it was a lot weaker than 75 health. So it only took 1 hit from the Mega Boulder to detower his tower. The other 3 hit Kalaise. He's at 71 health, he doesn't have much that he can do here. So he goes for the deluge, and I think that I can just get over to him and go for the kill. Let's see. Yeah, I just tossed the Mega, and that's the game actually. So, in hindsight, he doesn't have a second tower, so he's put in a tough spot. So maybe he has to gate away. Even if he gates away, though, in this book I actually had Rain of Fire and Rain of Arrows, so he was in a tough position. But I think overall the lesson from this game to be learned is that our moves didn't really apply enough pressure, and the positioning wasn't the best. In reality, ideally for a 10 Grassy sort of playstyle, you've got one person on one end of the map, one person on the other end of the map. You can see my mouse on the mini-map. They're in towers and just kind of exchanging aerials, drain lobs, water ball lobs. You might see in 10-second games, players try to make a little hidey hole if you're versing an aerial book. We didn't really do any of that, and it was just kind of back and forth, blunt force aggression. And if you do that playstyle, you kind of have to not make any mistakes. You don't have a lot of a you don't have a big margin for error. And so, you know, when he misses that pebbles, he's pretty much lost at that point. And as the best of 3 continues, I'll talk a little bit more about his book and the advantages and sort of disadvantages to it in 10-second games. But so that was game 1, and I'll be right back with you guys with game 2. Alright, here we are again. Kalaise versus Coeval, game 2, 10 Grassy. He's running the same book as far as I know. It's possible he made tweaks. I don't remember if he did or not. I don't think he does. So here we go. I believe I'm running the same book as well. Starts out with the Frost Arrow, as I said in game 1. That's pretty much what you have to do to get an advantage. As you can see, I'm down to 160 health already. Jesus. I might as well just resign at this point. So again, I go toward the opponent, which I shouldn't. I should go over here to this little ridge and tower. But I don't, because I don't know how to play 10G. And Kalaise makes up a lot of ground here, gets all the way over to this ridge and does a pebble lob, which was pretty impressive, and detowers me. I'm already kind of screwed. I have to mud here. Now I know he can just tower out, and I should run away and, I don't know, tower again. I botch the jump and I panic because I'm slow, and I just Sanctuary. I should probably have made it up here and then Sanctuaried, and I don't think Pebbles reaches, but it probably does if you extend at about 45 degrees. So I'm way too close. That's kind of a fatal mistake by me, and he's actually able to hit that pebble shot. And I'm thinking here, I don't know what to do. I'm kind of screwed. I don't have anything really to gain advantage. I guess I could have mudded again, but I figure out here he has Whisper Arrow anyway, so he probably would have Whisper Arrowed me. I just try to summon a minion to counter the Mega if he has Mega, or counter anything. I just don't have a lot of options here, so I Water Ball down to try to get some space. He just Whisper Arrows again, and I'm pretty much screwed. Try to go down in this hole and tower, cling to any semblance of life that I have left. He makes a good play, moves the tower away and pebbles down. And again, I'm pretty much dead here. I go for the Deluge, because what else am I going to go for? And it gets him down all the way to a whopping 222. He brings out the Infection, and boom, I'm dead. Now, in hindsight, another thing that I could have done, let's load up the game again here. Another thing that I could have done here is probably side hide. If I'm at this point and I'm detowered, maybe my only option is to go to the side. Probably have to go to the left side, because he can just Frost Arrow from his tower right here. Again, I think that's prolonging the game, but is it doing much to give me the win? Maybe. I mean, I've got Rain of Fire, Rain of Arrows, I've got Deluge, so I've got a pretty aerial heavy book, right? Problem is, if I ever get a Man Trap out to try to heal, he's going to infect me and I'm going to die. But at least that would have been a way to prolong the game and give myself a better fighting chance to get the win. But anyway, as you guys saw at the end of this game here, he's able to infect me and get the win. So at this point we're tied 1-1, and I'll be right back with you guys with game 3. Alright, here we are, back with game 3 of our best of 3 series. Right now tied 1-1 between Coeval and Kalaise. As I said in the third game, I believe we're running the same books. Gives you a chance to kind of see how each of our books runs. Mine's a little bit more generic, no flight, whereas Kalaise is running a little bit more of a unique book with Infection. But Alright, here we go. So I get first turn here and pull out the Frost Arrow. Does about 70, which is not great, not bad. He just responds with the Frost Arrow, so I say, anything you can do, I can do better, and I Frost Arrow him again. This is the 10G meta, folks. Bask in its glory. Isn't this peak gameplay? Drop a like if you like this Frost Arrow madness going on. So I get him down to 100. He botches that jump there, is running out of time, and so he just towers. Here I'm thinking I should exert pressure and go Pebble him, or Mud him. Pebble probably, just to, you know, again exert some pressure. For some dumbass reason I go past him, don't even attack, and then tower. I really don't know what I was thinking, because I have such a health advantage. I shouldn't even be worried about like a flash or anything. I doubt he has it. But in hindsight, I should really just Pebble him, go for the rush. Unfortunately, he lobs that Pebble and misses. I'm able to respond with my own Pebble, and I get a pretty good shot onto him. He jumps up and into that tree and casts Deluge. In hindsight, I guess, to prolong the game a little bit, you want to teleport to one of the sides, just to, again, prolong the game. I don't know if it really changes the tides, turns the tides or anything, but, you know, just to be a little bit more resilient, he probably should have teleported to the side here. I botched this a little bit with the pixels. I really should have just gone for the Mega Boulder, just said screw it, try it out. Hopefully, you know, it gets him down to maybe 30, or could even kill him if I hit kind of in that area. But I instead go for the Aura because I messed up this jump here. So he escapes from the Aura and goes for the Whisper Arrow. And I'm like, sweet, I can just go back out to this pixel right here and just toss a Mega and win the game. And my dumbass falls. Oh, Jesus. This is painful to watch, guys. So I fall and I have to do a second tower, and so I give him another chance to prolong the game here. He gates away. A fine teleport, I think. Unfortunately, I have Rain of Arrows, so I'm able to get a lot of damage on him, 58 damage. So he towers. I go for the Rain of Fire here, mainly just so that I could prepare the Deluge the following turn, because I've got heavy aerials in this book. And he goes for the Bones, doesn't really do anything, not that threatening. And so I try for the Deluge here. I want to at least get a D-Tower, I don't think it's going to kill. So he's left with 13 health, and he decides to just say, you know what, let's get this shit done. I mean, this was just disgraceful. So I get the second win and win the best of 3, 2-1. And one thing I wanted to talk about with this game is Kalaise's book. So with infection books, 10 seconds, I mean, those two things, they don't really match up. And the reason why is, you know, if we go back here and check out some of the spells, you know, look at the options that he has if he's going to bring infection. Flesh Wound is the only one that's like, okay. You know, Flesh Wound's a decent opener, especially if you have Glide. But, you know, he would need 5 of these spells to run infection. And Craze is only really great when you're trying to do 100 damage to minions. Minions are only really used when you're in 30 seconds plus games. It no longer deflights prodded characters, so it doesn't really have much value. Bones, great for map control, trapping minions, trapping opponents. What does trapping really do in 10 seconds? It's not that valuable. In this case, you just use like Mud Ball. And what minions are there to trap in 10 seconds? Because you're running aerials instead of minions, and maybe double tower. And then you've got Gargoyle, which is a minion, but where are you really going to have the opportunity to move that guy around and just be able to lust the opponent with it? It's going to be very rare. Blood Siphon, every minion within the arena will be dealt 25 damage. That's helpful at counteracting swarms, storm spirits, but again, there's not really a minion meta in 10G, so that's kind of a dead slot. Bank is okay, but with Blood Siphon as the level 1 in 10 seconds, it's just not used at all anymore, because Blood Siphon is just a dead slot. Dark Totem, again, useful for freeing minions, and being able to free players in longer games. Not really that helpful in 10 seconds because you can't move it. And Lust, okay, you may think, well, that's 70 damage, that's a lot. But really, I mean, okay, they might be able to get one Lust on you because you might not know that they have it. Oh, you're surprised that they lusted you, and then you just run away and you Mudball, or you run away and you Tree. And, you know, it's a melee spell, so they're not going to be able to do much. So, I guess my point is, he pretty much has to take 5 relatively dead slots. Essentially, that's what they are. And they don't have a lot of synergy. Their uses are more for 30 seconds and above instead of 10-second games. And then just Infection itself. Where do you get the most use out of Infection? Which again, if you don't know, infects the target, which spreads on contact. Players in top towers have longer symptoms, and it lasts for 5 turns. So how do you get Infection to do the most damage? Well, you've got to infect the player when they've got minions around them. And I'm not going to summon minions in 10-second games, are you? So Infection really doesn't do a lot of damage, or doesn't really pose a huge threat in 10-second games. And if you'll notice, in our best of 3, he actually had more generic spells and then just kind of threw in 5 others in Infection. So you notice he had Frost Arrow, which means he also had Shards. He has Gate, obviously. And what else did he have? He had Clock Tower, and I don't remember other generic spells that he had. Oh yeah, Deluge as well, which is a popular one. That's all kind of generic 10 Grassy stuff. And he's probably better off building the rest of the book out with other generic spells. Stuff like I had, like maybe Aerials, Rain of Fire, Rain of Arrows, maybe a Flight Protection Shield. Just more generic stuff, maybe Tree instead of Infection. Because just, again, the utility of those spells that are supporting Infection, and even Infection itself, is just not, it's not that valuable in 10-second games. So anyway guys, that's a little bit of analysis of a best of 3 between Kalaise and myself, and hope you guys enjoyed. And like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Peace out.